Oh, it feels good. Feels good. It seems like this year's went so quick. From ending in May and kind of a quick summer, and fall went pretty fast. And it's amazing how fast these semesters have gone. Even for the seniors, they'd probably say the same thing.
Coach, after the success you guys had last year during the regular season, do you feel like this is a group that's, capable of replicating that, and is that the goal for you guys?
Well, we had last year's team. We had six starters, everyday starters. So you're going to see two of the other ones, and Lydia is the third. So we have three starters from last year back. We lost a good core of kids, players. There were six of them that started: our center fielder, first baseman, second baseman, two pitchers, and Chet behind the plate. So that's a lot. Some of them were 4 or 5 years, players. So, I think what it brings is these older players are teaching the younger. We have a good group of freshmen and sophomores. Majority of our field team is. We have three seniors this year, so it's about them teaching what we do and that experience and giving them those experience. But I can say that this year we are a young team when you lose six of your nine starters on the field.
Speaking of that with so many freshmen and sophomores, what have you seen from them as to how they kind of taken that next step to maybe fill some of those roles, and how they're kind of coming along with things?
They're making good adjustments during the fall. They did a lot of good as far as that, and they're still learning the game. They're still learning the speed of the game at this level. Sometimes getting rid of the ball quicker on defense, they're not used to that because the base runner is a little bit faster, or maybe the power of the ball coming off the bat at them. There's some adjustments that they all freshmen go through, younger players go through when they're making that transition. So, but they adjusted, fairly well in the fall, and we're in the Watts, so a lot of us stuff that we've been doing in the Watts, and you're in there, you're doing more pitch machine grounders and stuff because it keeps them down compared to the Watts of hitting them, and so you're trying to stay the same, realistic as far as the dirt, try to give them that same look from there. So.
Unlike other sports, Brian, you have a fall season where your freshmen and young players are able to come in and basically practice. How much does that help you with your season now starting?
Well, I think it does a tremendous job to help us because it's 8 games that we get a chance to play in the fall. Get a chance to practice for 45 days in that, we're not practicing every day in those 45 days. But I think the big thing is just interacting, getting a chance to interact with the whole team and you're together. Not alone being able to learn the system, to be able to do a lot of that and then implement when we do play the 8 games. Mistakes are going to happen, that's part of it. But I think it's a good time for the team building part during the fall. When we come back in the spring, it's you don't have that much time. We just started, and we're a month, and we're playing this Friday. So, just to adjust that stuff.
And is there any concern among the league coaches with Cleveland State dropping softball?
Well, anytime, again, first and foremost, our hearts always go out to the team and the players and the coaches and stuff like that when something like that happens. But, I don't think that that's something that's the focus of our players. They're going to be a part of this year. They're still on the schedule for the spring and those things there. And, I think that, again, they're still going to be a part of it for this year.
I understand that, but from the coaches in the league, have you heard any concern amongst your peers in the league of Cleveland State dropping, and could it happen down the road anywhere else?
I don't, you don't look at a lot of that. That's the universities that make those decisions and on an individual basis. So, I think that we've always had a good competitive league, and we've had another school in the league, that did the same thing, a few years ago. So to me, it's not something that, it's something that we really take a look at it. Again, it's not the choice. It's the school's choice to make those hard decisions.
Obviously, you talked about some of the departing starters that you guys lost from last year, Kobe Howell and Devin Ryan, were two of those players who have played a lot for you guys. What does, from the returning pitching core, what does the pitching rotation kind of look like for you guys this year with them guys?
Well, we have two that are back from last year and two freshmen they the two were back. They they had some innings. They had an opportunity to get some experience a little bit. I know Sophie and Devin from last year took a lot of the innings. But I think that when we look back at a lot of the pitchers that we've had here, you can go back to Maddie Luss, you can go to Ellie Buffenbarger, you can go to Sophie, you can look the first couple of years, they were able to get some innings, and then they kind of took off from there. I think that that's something that, they've taken serious and took advantage of their opportunities, but know that sometimes it takes. Now, we're in a situation now with 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores that they'll have to be able to make their adjustments, and be able to learn that, striking out everybody is not what we're looking for. Give the ground ball, give the pop-up, let the defense work behind you.
With the youth that the team has with the freshmen and sophomores, how much did it help? I mean, I know you touched on this a little bit, but, having, somebody like Alyssa in the, reigning conference player of the year, how much did that kind of help to have a player with that kind of experience, of that kind of caliber, to kind of help and show these younger players, show them about them?
Well, I think when you look at that, yeah, it does help. She leads by example during practice. She's not as vocal, but if you watch her practice, you watch her play, and I think some of the freshmen and sophomore, if they have a chance to kind of see back and look at the work ethic, that's a lot that she brings to the table, and that's something that they potentially can learn from. You have different leaders, and some of them are vocal, some of them are quiet leaders that just kind of work, and that's where she fills in with the quiet leader. But I take it back to where she came from and her story, as far as when she came in as a freshman and to where she is presently, being a player of the year and getting that on film last year when we announced it on the field. It was, 29 years, 28 years of coaching, it's something I'll take with me. Just the surprise and where you could be at one time and where, she was last year. But, the expectations is just to be a leader. You get that chance to be a, player of the year, which is awesome. Those things there. But, I will say this year, you live in the present. Last year, you remember, you take it from, but, that this year's team is not last year's team. And you have to take that, that mentality to understand that you have to work a little bit more. Things aren't going to come easier because people are knowing where you're at. So.
When you look at other teams in the conference, what do you expect to see this year?
Horizon League's always been a great conference, and when you go down through it, there's always teams that are up there in the Horizon League. So, I love it. Love playing in it. This will be 17 years as far as a coach here, playing in Horizon, because I think it really brings out the competitive nature, every weekend, because you just can't show up. You never know what's going to happen.
Two of the younger players, 2 of the freshmen that you guys added this year, local girls, away from Austin Township, and then Bella Myers from Champion. What have you kind of seen from them and how they've, made the adjustment to, the college level so far?
Well, I go with just all the freshmen. We have 7 of them. A lot of them are just from the region, even local. But, I think when you look at those things there, each of them, have played in very good programs, summer ball or whatever that might be, and, those things. So I think that, the adjustment period, again, it is adjustment period. It is something that some are able to make that adjustment right away. Sometimes it takes a little bit more time. But, again, that's why we have the fall with them, and that's why we have a little bit of the spring for them to hope they get adjusted. So.
Do you expect anyone to see some action start maybe wise, or kind of still undecided on that part?
When we look at a lot of that stuff, it'll be a Friday decision on some of it. But I think we have a good group of players that this year we'll be able to interchange a lot of different positions and be able to play a little bit, go a little deeper.